So you're joining us on a Saturday early evening, 7:30. I wasn't expecting to do this one, but I've just had West Ham Online's just come on to me and said he wants to do break some news that has just dropped in some injury news to hit the squad, which is already having a few problems with injuries of late. So, West Ham Online, the floor is yours. Let the people know what's going on.
Yeah. Before I do this news, I want to warn everyone. I'm not sure how good my Wi-Fi is going to be for this one, so you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. But I have come across some news in the past half an hour. I've been told some news that Mark Noble, who's been filling in at the moment, obviously for Rice, will be injured for Burnley. He had a scan and he won't be fit for Burnley. He's picked up a muscle injury. And it's likely to be out for 2 weeks at best, basically.
Oh, brilliant.
You still hear me?
Yeah, no, I got you. So Mark Noble's out for the Burnley game and for the Everton game from the sounds of things.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be back for that. I don't want to make any, I highly doubt it is basically what I'm saying, but he's definitely out for Burnley. Rice won't play against Burnley. Rice certainly won't start against Burnley.
Wow.
So who we're going to start in midfield is a question in itself. So yeah, Mark Noble out for Burnley.
Fantastic. Just what we need. We've obviously got Rice out. We've got Antonio out. There's question marks over Cresswell and Masuaku, and now the club captain's dropped out. So we've got a few lads that have jumped in on the live chat. We've obviously got Cahill's just jumped in. James Fornals as defensive mid and Ben Rama as a 10. It's always an option. And Cal, what I'm going to do for you boys, if you want to jump in, are you okay, West Ham Online, if I open up the lines to anyone that wants to jump on and discuss this breaking news that you've got for us? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right, so I'll just put that out in the live chat, chaps. If any of you guys want to jump on with us, whether it's Cal, whether it's James, whether it's anybody else that wants to have their say and get their points of view across, that's what we're here for. So, as I say, this is the breaking news from West Ham Online that Mark Noble is out with a muscle injury for the Burnley game, possibly could be out for the Everton game as well. Do you know anything more? I mean, you say it's a muscle injury. Was it calf? Is it hamstring? What are we talking? Any information?
It's not hamstring. I can't actually. He did tell me. The guy did tell me, but I can't actually remember whether he said thigh or something else. But I think it was thigh. But don't quote me on that because I didn't really listen. As soon as I heard he's out for 2 weeks with a muscle injury, that was my reaction basically.
Injury that came about in training yesterday, I'm guessing.
No, this was Monday where the source was told the news. He was told it on Monday.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. So we've got Cal that's jumped in. So you've heard the news.
Yeah. Sure. There's nothing we can do about it. If it's true, we just have to make do with it. I suppose it's that's just one of those. We're at that stage of the season. We need every man we can get, and especially someone as well as he has been playing, and with the sort of leadership role he has, it would be great to have him. But we'll have to make do if he's not able to play.
Yeah, I mean, you put in the comments earlier, you think it's a job for Pablo. So are you suggesting that it may be that he drops alongside Thomas Souček and that it may present an opportunity, as James Fever said, for perhaps Said Benrahma to make a claim?
Who else is there, really?
Yeah.
I can't think of, unless he's not going to play Connor Coventry by the looks of it. I don't think there is anyone else other than Pablo Fornals for that job.
I think I've got more chance of playing for West Ham than Connor Coventry has, quite honestly.
And if that does mean that Fornals is going into the central position and we're playing, if we change from a 5 to a 4 at the back, you could probably see Fredericks out in the wings then, with Benrahma still playing. the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in fact West Ham unofficial. Jakey's just jumped on. West Ham online has got the news. Mark Noble's out. Mark Noble is out of the Burnley game. Could possibly be out for the Everton game, but that's debatable. But he's definitely out of the match at Turf Moor.
Yeah.
Jakey, if you want to jump on, if you scroll back on the on the chat, the links there, mate. If you want to jump on and put your points of view across, mate, you're more than welcome. Come on and have a discussion with us. We've got James that's just jumped in. This could present, although it's obviously bad news for Nobes, could this present an opportunity for Mr. Ben Rama, do you think?
Right, from what I've been hearing, mate, if he don't get to play tomorrow, he's never going to play for West Ham. That's like, there's no one else who can go in that position. Fornals, if people want Fornals to play and he's a box to box and he gets stuck in, he's got the energy. Why is he not playing with Souček tomorrow? And you go with a 3-man attack with Bowen, Lingard, and Ben Rama. If he does not play tomorrow and he puts Lanzini in there, or don't be surprised if Connor Coventry goes in there, right, or someone like that, then for me, Ben Rama hasn't got a future at the club. And that's me being as real as I can be, and I love Ben Rama. I think he's a decent player, but if he can't get in the team tomorrow, when can he get in this team?
Yeah, no, I think that's entirely fair. I mean, if you've got the situation as it's unfolding, if this news is correct, and I've got no reason to disbelieve what West Ham Online saying, because his sources, I'm sure, are usually impeccable. So if Mark Noble doesn't play and Declan Rice is still out, from what we're led to believe, if Ben Rama doesn't get in, because as I say, that seems to be the only move that I can see happening, is that you drop.
We want Ben Rama to play at the best of times. We want him to play at the best of times. So if he can't play now, there's no chance.
Yeah.
Cyber's
just jumped on the just before you go there, James. I'm just going to say, Cyber, if you scroll back on the live chat, you should find the link. If you want to jump on and have your say, mate, crack on. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll pop it back on the live chat.
Yeah, but the thing is, he has to play tomorrow, Monday. Ben Rama. There's no more excuses. There's no more saying he can't play because of the system and all this. I don't want to see Lanzini in there. I don't want to see Yarmolenko in there. If there has to be, Ben Rama has to play it, and there should be like come 7 o'clock or 10 to 7 on Monday night. His name's got to be on the sheet. If he's playing a 5-3. A 5-3-1-2 sort of system, then put him in as a number 10.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think if Saeed Ben Rama doesn't play against Burnley, then I think you'd probably suggest that his future at West Ham at least going to be questionable, in my opinion. That's the way I read it. So, how you doing, Tom? You good, mate? It's if you're only just joining us, mate, it's not the best news in the world. Mark Noble, it would appear, is ruled out of the game at Burnley with a muscle injury. We suspect it's a thigh injury, but we're being told it's a muscle injury they've been dealing with since Monday, and it's now become apparent that he's not going to be available for the game at Turf Moor on Monday evening, which is obviously a big blow. Not necessarily for what he does on the pitch so much, perhaps, but certainly for his leadership skills and just the fact of his experience. We're obviously missing Declan Rice, which is massive. So yeah, but I mean, as Tom says here, guys, it might force us into an attacking lineup. Could it be a blessing in disguise?
I'm 100% agree with that. 100%. Like, we can't keep playing 5 at the back with no disrespect to Noble, but he's a defensive player. So that's a 6-man defence.
Yeah.
Souček is not the same when Rice is not there. So really, technically, since Rice has been gone, he's been more defensive. So technically, it's a 7-man defence. Right, and then you're only relying on really Fornals to score to provide the goals to help Jesse Lingard and Bowen. I I just hope that I see Ben Rama on Monday, because if I don't, and I see someone like Manuel Lanzini in there or Yarmolenko in there, then I'm sorry, but it's an agenda. It's an agenda all over Ben Rama. He doesn't like him. He doesn't want him, and he's being horrible, basically.
Cal, what do you think about that comment from Tom? Do you think that it could be a blessing in disguise, and it might force us to play a more an offensive lineup than otherwise might have been the case?
I'd really hope so. I wanted us to play attacking against a team like them anyway. It's just one of those, you know what Moyes, you never know who he's going to put on, with the Benrahma situation. He could bloody throw on someone instead of him. He could put the Eop centre mid instead of playing Fornals there, just to keep Fornals on the pitch. It's one of those. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, we've just been joined by Steve 50. Steve, how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, Gatesy. I hope you're all well, guys.
Could be better given the news.
Well, yeah, but could this be smoke and mirrors? How many times has something like this come out and then it's not been the case? I mean, I don't think it is this time. I think it wouldn't surprise me if Holmes is injured. You know what's gonna kill our top 4 aspirations this season? It's gonna be the injuries and squad depth.
Yeah, it's really beginning to bite, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it had some time, I guess. I've been sitting here with my fingers crossed that maybe we'll just get through to the end of the season, and manage it. But no, if Nobes is out and he puts Ben Rama in, now I think Ben Rama is a good shout by everybody for him to play. Wouldn't surprise me if Moyes doesn't, but I'd like to see him play. You lose more than Noble's ability on the pitch. You lose everything else that Noble brings. So
yeah,
I just don't know. And who do you make captain if Creswell's out?
Didn't Fabianski have the armband a little while back? I think I recollect.
Yeah,
I'd probably say O'Connor. Yeah,
you make O'Connor captain. He'll lead the team. The thing is, if Pablo Fornals is the man everyone says he is, and he's this wonderful player, he can play anywhere, can't he? So if he goes as a defensive-minded player and gets the ball and gives it to Ben Rama, Bowen, Lingard, that's more than, don't get me wrong, Noble's been great, but let's not kid ourselves. Noble was never going to last the full ratio of games. He's always susceptible to an injury, and basically the Ben Rama thing is now. And the more I think about it, it is now. The time is now to play this geezer. He's played against Burnley in the previous fixture. They won. Yeah. So if he doesn't play, and I don't even want to look at the team sheet on Monday, because if he's not on that starting 11, then I'm sorry, but Moyes just does not like this geezer whatsoever.
Which then makes you wonder, was he a Moyes signing in the first place, I guess?
I think it will confirm it for me, Gatesy, on Monday. If that, because who else do we put there? You can't go and put Connor Coventry in there. He's got no Premier League experience. He's going up against one of the physicalist teams going.
Yeah.
Pablo Fornals is fit. He can play as a midfielder, as everyone keeps telling me he can play as a midfielder, so he can play in that position. And basically, your ideal replacement to be more attacking would be Ben Rama. You ain't going to play Lanzini. He plays Lanzini on Monday night, and this is a man he doesn't fancy either. Then we've got a bit of a problem, haven't we? Let's be honest. We've paid £30 million out, 25 plus a £5 million loan fee for a bloke who our manager doesn't want.
Yeah, but I tell you what, James, I could see him playing Lanzini, because I've got a sneaky feeling Ben Rama might be the mate weight in a deal for Ivan Toney at Brentford.
Well, if that is the case, that is the most disgusting bit of business I've ever seen West Ham do in 34 years. Because the man hasn't, let's be honest, how can you, he hasn't even been here a full season. The season's not even over yet, and we're thinking about selling him. And that, to me, is just, that's disgusting, in my opinion. As a club, the owners, what they're doing. If they do that, Ivan Toney's a good shout. Don't get me wrong. We need a striker. He's a good striker. He's young. right? But we should be buying him to add with Ben Rama, not sacrificing one for another. Because we're never one up, one down. It's always the same. But we lose a player, we gain a player. We should be gaining two players, not losing arguably a talent. And you know what will happen? I know exactly what will happen. He will go back to Brentford. He will get signed by someone else, and he will become a top class talent because he is a top class talent.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with all of that as well. And personally, quick before you say it, Steve, I think just to add to what you said, James, I genuinely would rather keep Ben Rama than get Tony because I want to see Ben Rama succeed. I've got so much hope for Ben Rama. And your Brentford mate, who I trust a lot, said that Ben Rama is one of the best players he's seen at Brentford. So I think he'll come good.
Yeah, I hope he comes good as well. I think every time Ben Rama plays, okay, he's far from the finished article. I love watching him play. Some of the things he does, it's exciting, and we've always liked an exciting player at West Ham. My reservation is, does he fit Moyes' system? Now, for me, he's terrific.
But we don't have an exciting manager. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you know what? Everyone laughs there, but Cathell's bang on the money. Our manager's not exactly an attacking-minded manager, is he? He's more cautious and will play defensive.
We scored a few goals of late, in fairness.
Yeah, but
we've conceded a lot as well.
Yeah, we've conceded 11 and all, but
but that doesn't necessarily lend itself to the narrative that he's a defensive manager. I know what you're saying, and I'm not saying that he's the next Kevin Keegan. I'm not saying that, but I wouldn't say he's just an out and out defensive.
I don't believe though. Right, we are good enough to defend. Like Joe likes to defend, like with five at the back. I just don't like. We'll watch West Ham here, right? When West Ham play, they're not good defensively, right? We think we're good. Like teams who play five at the back don't concede 11 goals. You know what I mean? Like two at Wolves, two at Leicester. Right, I know we played a 4-2-3-1 against Arsenal. We conceded 3. Like we conceded 3 against Newcastle. For out loud, Newcastle. It's the first time Newcastle scored 3 goals all season. And I know we handed, but they've still got to score the goals. They've still got to get in the positions to score the goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's mad.
We've just been joined by Mike Hatcher. Mike, your debut was from Iron, I do believe, unless I'm very much mistaken.
Yeah, it is my debut, mate. Yeah.
What a way to come in.
It is.
What a way to come in.
Hell, mate.
I take it you've heard what we've been talking about.
Yeah, I have, mate. Yeah, it's gutting, that one is. Yeah. I mean, as if we haven't got enough injuries at the moment. I think. Yeah, but then again, I've seen some of the comments about Ben Rama. James will tell you what I think about Ben Rama. I think he's not been given enough chances. Maybe it forced us into being more of attacking, against Burnley, which, we probably need to be against Burnley, I think. Like I've said before in the past, I think it's no good just sitting back now. We've got to get out there and give it a crack, haven't we, on Monday? We've got to really give it a go because... the top 4 are pulling away from us now. That's
exactly what Tom put on an earlier comment. It might force us into an attacking lineup. It could be a blessing in disguise. So it's exactly what you've just said there, Mike.
Yeah, totally agree. I think it might just force us into it. You look round and there's not many options, mate, is it? It's not many options.
No, I mean, I agree with what James was saying. If it's probably going to have to be 4-0 alongside Souček with Ben Rama coming in the place that 4-0 would have originally occupied. Yeah. So, and if it doesn't happen, and it, as like he says, if he brings in a Lanzini, or brings in a Yarmolenko, which is a player that we know is very likely to be out the door in the summer, if one of those players comes in ahead of a guy that you've just paid 25 million quid for, it does kind of beg the question: what was the point of spending that money on this player?
And they're really not Burnley players to play against lads like that, because since Lanzini's come back, maybe even the last year or two itself, he's afraid to go into sort of 50-50s and afraid to get into contact with lads since he's come back from a big injury.
The question that needs to be asked, and you can ask this in the chat and all, is if Ben Rama doesn't play, how disappointed will you be? Because I know saying if it comes to Monday night and he's not on that pitch, right, for me, like, it's either Moyes has got an agenda against him, the owners don't want to play him, like because of fees or something to do with something like that. He's not getting because he's only had me and West Ham and I went through it. He's had 2 90-minute games in this season. So to me, is there something to do with that? Is it that if he plays 5 or 6 90-minute games, like full matches, he has to pay another fee or something? West Ham might have the money. If he's not on the pitch and Lanzini, Yarmolenko, do you know what? I just thought of saying when you were talking there, Gatesy, I thought it wouldn't surprise me if he bungs Yarmolenko up front and there's Bowen and Lingard as like a two attack-minded players in behind him and playing like a 4-2-2-1 system. Something stupid like that.
Yeah.
Would be.
As long as we win, I'm happy. I think Benrahma has to play. It's the perfect time for him to play now. But I'm not going to see. I can't say I'll be disappointed if he doesn't, because I won't be shocked with the way the selections have gone with him. It's like it wouldn't surprise me if Moyes doesn't pick him. So I'll just be happy once we win.
Yeah. Can I answer James's question? Now I feel if Benrahma doesn't play, if he doesn't play and we lose, I'll be livid. If he doesn't play and we win, I can live with it. But I would like to see him start.
Yeah. So what happens if we draw?
Yeah. I'll give up. I can't go that far. My brain's not that switched on, James.
Yeah. He might have to think about that one, but
yeah, you got to think about that one.
That's when your third eye opens there.
Yeah. But, I don't know.
Isn't it?
Sorry, Steve?
It's all about the win on Monday. I don't care how. And I would love to see Benrahma start. I'd love to see him play with some confidence because I think he can rip that bench to pieces. I think he's better than Lanzini in his pomp. And Lanzini isn't the player he was since the injury. I don't know whether it's in his head, but I also think he's lost half a yard as well. But I actually think Benrahma's got more potential than Lanzini had.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree.
But I get frustrated he doesn't play. But I can see why he doesn't as well.
So what would be the alternative? Just for argument's sake, if Benrahma doesn't play and it's Pablo Fornals, who plays where Noble plays? Is it Connor Coventry?
Fornals goes into Noble's position and Ryan Fredericks goes into the attacking sort of on the wing. That's what I was thinking. Probably you do something like that.
Doesn't sound very exciting, does it?
I'll tell you
it
what,
doesn't, but like but doesn't it sound realistic though? Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't think I even sound too like a bullshitter there. I think that sounds like
I'm
something
not being
could
funny,
do.
Cathal. You saying that? I don't think if Mazawaku's not fit and Cresswell's fit, Fredericks has got to play on the left anyway, so he's going to be playing.
That's for playing a 5-back.
Say one thing quickly. I wouldn't say for definite yet that Antonio is out for this match.
Oh, really?
So
a few rumblings with that.
Yeah, so I doubt he starts. But let's just say, for instance, that Antonio starts. I doubt it, but say he does. That means that Bowen would probably start on the wing. And then again, that would mean I don't think Benrahma would start then either. So I don't know.
Yeah, but is it wise? To go and put Mikel Antonio, who's injury prone, against one of the
it's not. But Moyes has done it before.
Yeah, but if Moyes does that against the most physical team, Burnley are the most physicalist team in the league, like with corners and set plays, everything.
It's not the physicality that hurts Antonio though. It's the teams he has to run against. He could do sort of hold up play if he's fit enough to play. I wouldn't throw him in if he's not fit enough. But he can hold up lads like that. It's not like it's the running that I'm afraid every time I see him sprint.
Can I just ask a question of West Ham Online from the comment you've just made there about Mikel Antonio? Maybe, probably not. How realistic a proposition do you think it is that he at least starts from the bench? Perhaps is that more a realistic proposition?
I'd say it's 50-50 at the moment. So yeah, if you were to ask me chances of him starting, I'd say it's pretty low. But again, you never know, because I don't know if you remember when we beat Villa 2-1 a while back. He was randomly chucked in the lineup after an injury, and he immediately had to come off, and he had an absolute stinker.
Is there anyone who's going to be coming back though? Cresswell, Mazuaku,
No, they're not meant to be.
I wouldn't rule any of them out. The only one I'd mainly rule out is I really don't think Rice will play at all. So Rice is the one I'd rule out. Creswell and Masuaku, again, these three players, even I was speaking with someone else about it earlier who gets a lot of the news. They just seem to, they get an injury, positive update. Suddenly it's got worse again. I don't know what's going on with the medical staff either, because the updates that are coming out and that we're getting from them are really inconsistent. So, yeah, I would. Antonio's the most probable one in my opinion.
I'm going to go with this, guys. Here's a hypothetical for you. Let's just suppose we start the game on Monday, and Mark Noble is injured, and so is, and Saeed Benrahma doesn't start that match. If you subscribe to the narrative that James is putting forward, that Dave, reason would that be? I'll put that to you first, Mike.
So I missed some of that then, Gatesy. Sorry, mate. I don't know if it's my end.
If Benrahma doesn't start, and neither does Noble or Rice,
yeah,
and you subscribe to the narrative that James has put forward, that being the case, there is an agenda against Benrahma from Moyes. What would be the reason for that agenda, in your opinion?
In my opinion, I don't think Moyes trusts him. Full stop. He don't trust Benrahma. I mean, I feel for him because, you know, he came on at the end of the other game, the last game, and hit that shot from 35 yards and went sailing over the bar. But he's almost sort of forced into having to do something spectacular to get himself back in the starting 11, or, you know, get himself even 20 minutes or 25 minutes. There's so much pressure on the guy. I think he should have been given more time, you know, in other games, and just told to go out there and do what he's good at. And you've got to be brave, and he is brave on the ball. That's what I like about him. He'll have the ball to feet. He'll do a little turn. He'll open things up, and he'll be brave. But from time to time, he'll lose that ball, and that's what Moyes don't trust him. He don't trust him to keep the ball long enough. He don't trust him to make the right decisions. But he's under so much pressure that he ends up doing things that, you know, he shouldn't be really even trying. You know, he should be just maybe laying a little easy ball off here and there. So I just feel that Moyes doesn't trust him, full stop. Yeah. And it's such a shame. It really is. But I'm just hoping that he's almost forced into, you know, having to start him. And I just hope the guy has a game and a half and proves everyone wrong. I really do. Because I just think he's not been given enough chance.
Oh, sorry, you cut out there, Mike. Sorry,
mate.
Sorry, you went. It stopped there, and I thought you'd finished. I do apologise. No, Cal, right. Same question to you, mate.
If he doesn't play him with all them circumstances, he obviously just doesn't fancy him. It's just it's the harsh reality. Like I don't think there's much more you can say.
What's the reason for that? What do you think? I mean, you know, is it is he not impressing him in training? Is it the matches? Is it a combination?
You see, we don't see the training, so you could say that as just a guess. It might be the training. It's. I don't know if he fits his system. I don't know if it was ultimately his choice to sign him. I don't think it was the player he wanted in the first place. So I just don't think he fancies him fully.
Yeah. How about you, Steve?
Well, I mean, our side, the way Moyes has built it, is that it's very efficient. Everybody does the basics well, and they do it to a system. And I think what's happened with Benrahma is he's come on. Lingard's been given a free license. We know this. But Benrahma's come on, and sometimes he gives the ball away cheaply, and it doesn't fit in with the ethos of what Moyes is trying to build, because our team isn't dependent on individuals. It's dependent on the collective all working together. And that's what gets us our results, because if we don't do that, the better sides will just walk all over us. But if we do that, we're hard at the beat. And I think that's where Benrahma's coming up short for Moyes. That you can't deny Benrahma's talent, but I think it's that contribution to the whole where sometimes he loses the ball easily or he makes a poor decision. And look, I'm not blaming him for it. Sometimes, we all do it in our lives and in our jobs. We try something or we make the wrong decision. But I just don't think that's something Moyes tolerates because he sees a way to win is to be a cohesive unit.
Yeah. Same question to West Ham online, and James can have the last word on this one.
I think I genuinely think even if Benrahma does start under all them circumstances, I've already made my mind up regarding what Moyes thinks on Benrahma. I personally don't think Moyes is a Benrahma fan, and I'll be surprised if he's here at the end of next season. And I can't see that changing because what Benrahma doesn't have that Lingard has is, I don't know, he just doesn't run as much. It's things that, we signed a player who's a skillful player who didn't defend a lot. Yet we're expecting him to be a workhorse that defends, and he just isn't that player. And we can't afford for him to have a free role because Lingard has that, and Lingard's better than him. So I think that's Moyes' thinking. I don't agree with it because in smaller games when I've seen Benrahma, I'm sure James has delivered the stat a lot with the 12 games, 7 wins, that stat. I just don't think Moyes trusts Benrahma. I think his body language as well, Benrahma, when he loses the ball and things like that. Once again, I don't agree with it, but I think this is all behind Moyes' thinking because he doesn't like a lot of players of that calibre, even at previous managerial stints. He wasn't a fan of Zaha at United, for example. So, I don't know. I think it's a lot to do with attitude, and maybe he isn't impressing in training with his effort levels.
Fair enough. James, over to you.
I heard what everyone said, and people saying about giving the ball away, but every footballer gives the ball away, in my opinion. Rice has given the ball away before, but he's world class. Souček's given the ball away; he's top class. At the end of the day, Said Benrahma's been here since the end of beginning part of September. He's played 12 games from the start, 7 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss, and I will keep pumping that out every single time because them stats don't lie. And the games he's played against teams like Aston Villa, Everton, Palace, Leeds, both home and away, he's performed. And he might make a few passes, but I think it's an agenda thing. I think Moyes is being stubborn. I think he's cutting his nose off to spite his face because he didn't get Eze, who the man he really wanted. So now he's stuck with Benrahma and he's like, just chuck him in as of when, like, so to speak. Benrahma's a talent. My Brentford friend who I had on Hammers Polls turned around and said to me the exact same thing. He said, James, he's a boy, he's a talent. Give him the ball, he'll make things happen. When we say that we're not, I know Jesse Lingard's come to the club and he's embraced the club and he's done well. I can respect that. But Jesse Lingard was nowhere to be seen up in Manchester for 18 months. And he wasn't even getting the team. He's come to the club and he's embraced the club. Now, if Jesse Lingard carries that form on to next season, then it's a stroke of genius from Moyes. Benrahma has come and he hasn't been given the fair crack of the whip. And on Monday, if I'm honest, if I don't see him in the team sheet, I will be absolutely fucking raging. I will be raging because there is no one else who can come in there. Now, he's running out of bodies. And I said it to you, Gatesy, before on the show. I said, Moyes could have 12 players and Benrahma would be the one on the bench. Because he just seems like every which way but loose, he just doesn't want to play him. I know I'm going a bit of a rant here. And I'm sorry, everyone, but I've got to say this. But the last home game, the last game that Benrahma started was at Arsenal. And we drew the game 3-3. And in the first half of that game, he was phenomenal. Him, Lingard, Bowen, Antonio. Right. And I can't keep having it that people will keep telling me that, he's not doing it, he's not doing this. That boy, if he doesn't, I think Tommy summed it up brilliantly the other week on one of the shows that Fortune Ryan was doing. And he said, the West Ham fan base thought they was getting Payet. So when he's not acting like Payet, everyone's going, you know what, this ain't the player that we signed up for, basically. And everyone's sort of going, well, why ain't he doing this? Why ain't he doing that? He's a player who's just come from the Championship. It's his first season in the Premier League. And people are too fond of just getting him out the door and it's just the West Ham fan base in general. And I just want to say this before I round it up. 2 years ago, Angelo Ogbonna, everyone wanted out the door. Said he wasn't good enough, he wasn't cutting it, and he's our best defender. So let's have a look. Like, let's not prejudge players until they've been given a fair crack. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, fair enough. So on to the Noble situation, and obviously this obviously dovetails with Declan Rice's absence. So just bringing it back to you, West Ham Online. You say that there's virtually no chance of him being available for the Burnley game. Have you got any information on his availability for the Everton game?
The Everton game I'm a lot more positive about. I wouldn't be surprised if Rice is involved for that game. In fact, I'd say he will be involved for that game at this point. But I think
he starts?
I honestly depend. If I'm going to say will he start, will he not? I actually think it has a lot to do with the result against Burnley. I think if we beat Burnley, he's less likely to start. But if we lose to Burnley, he has to start, even if he's 75% fit, because we need the points now. We can't afford to drop below a tin pot team like Everton Football Club. So that's it for me.
I think you've got that round the wrong way, though. In my opinion, right? Just want to cut in on that.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying if we lose the game, what did you say? If we lose the game,
if we lose to Burnley, he's more likely to start against Everton because we'll need the points even more.
Nah, I think it'd be the other way around. If we beat Burnley, we're still in the hunt. Like, this game on Monday will decide if we are going for Champions League.
No, that's not what I mean. Though I mean, James, if we lose to Burnley, I'm seriously thinking eighth is literally, round the corner.
Yeah.
So
is, yeah.
I don't know what your thoughts on that is, but if Everton win tonight as well, if they beat Villa tonight and we lose to Burnley, we're in deep bother.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take your point. Brilliant. Well, there we go. The life of a West Ham fan. Injuries, and more injuries, gentlemen. So,
and I need to question quickly, Gatesy.
Yes.
I need to quickly question the medical staff.
Oh God.
The medical staff need to stop putting out these presumptions which don't end up being true. I'd rather we wait a bit longer for the news if it's more reasonable and more valid, which I think is actually happening with this Noble one. But for me, the medical staff are about as reliable as a pack of crisps. And in my opinion, whether it's the medical staff or the media getting onto them, I want to see the updates more reliable from now on, because I've seen about 57 different updates on Antonio. I saw only a few days ago that he was out for the season, which wasn't true. And then the day after, he's fit. He might be able to play against Burnley. So, you never know. It's a load of rubbish, what comes out from their mouths.
Yeah. What do you use? I was just going to ask something. What do you think the team will be on Monday? Now there is no Noble. What would be the starting 11?
Tell you what, we'll start. We'll go round. So, Steve, give me your starting 11. You think Moyes is putting out with the news that we've got?
Okay. Well, back's not too difficult. You got Fabianski. I think Oggy and Balbuena. If Creswell's fit, he'll be the third centre back, and you'll have Kufau and Fredericks as wing backs.
Right.
Then I think in the centre, bloody hard actually.
And as I say, I stress, what do you think Moyes will pick? Not what you want to see. That's the key here.
What Moyes will pick, I think you'll get that five at the back if he can. I think you'll have Souček. I suppose he's got to play 4 hours in there. Then I think you'll have Lingard, Bowen, and I think either Lanzini or Yarmolenko.
You don't think he goes with Ben Rama?
I think he should go with Ben Rama.
But you don't think he will?
I don't think he will.
Okay, fair enough. Cahill?
I'm going to go a bit exotic for Moyes' way of this one. I'm going to go a 4-back with Soufal, Dawson, Ogbonna, and Johnson left back. Fornals and Souček centre mid. Left mid, Benrahma. Centre, Lingard. Right mid, Fredericks, and striker, Bowen.
So you do think he will start Benrahma?
I think he'll start Benrahma and Fredericks.
Okay. Mike?
I think he'll start Benrahma as well, because I think he's got to. I think he's just got to. And he'll probably go with a back five still with two wing backs, Soufal and Fredericks. Not sure about what the three are, but if Creswell's fit, he'll definitely play alongside Oggy and probably Dawson, or I'd say Bolbronna probably. Yeah, and then he's got to play Benrahma. He's got to play Fornals, Souček, Benrahma. He's got it. I think he's forced into it because we can't go anywhere else. I don't think he's going to start Lanzini. I really don't. But we will see. You know, it's anyone's guess, isn't it, mate? I mean, it could still all be smoke and mirrors. You know, Noble could still turn up and play.
All things are possible, but
it's possible. You know, but I think he's got to start Benrahma. I think he's got to. Full stop.
Yeah.
I don't think he can go anywhere else now.
James, who do you think Moyes selects? Not who do you want to see selected, but who do you think Moyes selects? What's your 11?
Fabianski in goal. Fabianski in goal. This is what I think Moyes is going to do. Fabianski in goal. He'll go 5 at the back. Craig Dawson returns from suspension there. So don't be surprised. He's had a rest. He's had a 2-week rest. Because basically he was on for 32 minutes or 36 minutes, got sent off. So he's had a good rest since then. If Cresswell's fit, he'll play, I think he'll play Diop, Ogbonna, Cresswell as a left defensive player in the 3. Kafal right wing back. Fredericks left wing back. And I've just thought about it as all the lads were talking. I can see this coming. He's going to put Ben Johnson as the midfielder with Souček.
I think I'd throw up.
He can't pass a ball to save his life.
And I'll tell you the reason why I say that, because I was just listening to everyone. I thought, right, something to do fucking mental, right? And Ben Johnson played that position. He's come on and played that position a few times as the midfielder.
I thought originally he could play it, but like, you know, when he was having the sort of good spells, whenever he was coming off the bench at the start, before we started just shoving him on as the first sub every time, I was thinking he has the qualities to play midfield. But the more he plays, the more you see his passing. He is not up for it.
And I believe that is what might happen. If Fredericks goes left wing back, I can see Johnson with Souček, and then you got Fornals, Bowen, Lingard. I think I personally don't think Benrahma plays, mate. If I'm honest, I want him to play. I'm praying he plays. I'm pushing that he plays, but I just don't think Moyes just doesn't like him, mate. And I just really do. I think Ben Johnson would go in that position. He's defensively minded, and he's played that position a few times coming on in games against Arsenal. He come on and done that position. Leicester, I think he was in that position and all towards the end. So, yeah, that'd be my team, mate, that I think he goes with.
Do you know what, James? I think you might have nailed it there. I hadn't even considered that, but I think you might be bang on.
Do you know what? Nothing would surprise me there. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he'll play Fredericks in that sort of position, because Fredericks is not that type of player. But with Ben Johnson, he's been in that position. He's played that position in youth level and all, as a sort of central midfield, defensive-minded midfield player. And that's providing we've got cover on the left-hand side. Obviously, if there's any news on Cresswell coming back, there's a different story then, because then the defence goes over and maybe Cresswell might go as the left wing back. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, mate.
Yeah. What about you, West Ham Online? What are your thoughts? What do you think Moyes is going with?
It all does depend on whether Cresswell's fit or not, but I'll go Fabianski in goal, Diop, Ogbonna, and I'm going to go Diop, Ogbonna, and Dawson for now. I don't like it, but that's what I'll go with for now. Left wing back Fredericks, right wing back Soufal. In the middle, Souček and Fornals, so that's 5, 6, 7. Bowen, Lingard. I really don't think Ben Rama's going to play. Bowen, Lingard, and you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do something different. Bowen, Lingard, Johnson, where I put Fredericks at left wing back, and I genuinely think they'll put Fredericks as like a right midfielder again. And if that is the team, I think I'll throw up. It has all.
I hope not.
It has all the offensive ability of a 2-year-old, but you know.
Need to stop that big threat of Charlie Taylor on the left back. You see.
Yeah.
Oh,
dear.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that will be it.
Yeah. Not good news. Not good news. Well, there's where we're going to leave it, ladies and gentlemen. So the breaking injury news exclusively from West Ham Online is Mark Noble is out of the game at Burnley on Monday, which is, as James has said, this is a pivotal game in our Champions League aspirations. There's no doubt about it. I agree that if we lose this game at Turf Moor, the chances of us finishing fourth are vanishingly thin. So we shall see. So, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for breaking this news, and obviously those that have joined afterwards. Steve, James, Mike, and Cal, thank you very much indeed for your participation, guys.
Thank you.
And despite the fact that this is obviously not good news, we've just got one thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.
8th, here we come.